Hello, and welcome to an experiment in living. Hopefully this won't go disastrously well. Following, as I do, the philosophy of Stuart Mill, I believe that we are not yet perfected a way of life. We'll see how it goes. 23 tea bags, exactly a pint glass. I'll be making it with white and a bit of sugar. I'll be making it in this large pot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and finally 23. Now the reason I'm choosing 23 tea bags is because I'm 23 years old. Somewhat arbitrary, but perhaps if I did this experiment next year, I'd choose 24 tea bags. Ultimately I had to pick a number. Originally I was going to go for a round, it didn't seem quite epic enough. 440 was too many, as was 44, so I decided on 23. We'll see how that goes. Here's the kettle. That should be roughly 3 litres worth. Now, stirring, I will make sure it's really tea-like, and start removing the tea bags, making sure I give them each a good squeeze. These will later feed my compost heap. So the more astute of you will have realised that 3 litres is just under 6 pints, and that's a pint. So with the milk included, I should have 6 pints worth of tea, but with 23 tea bags, so 6 pints worth of strong tea. So I think I'd like to say this is the equivalent of having 23 cups of tea without actually having to drink 23 cups of tea in fluid. Now we're going to add milk to taste. That's going to be, I think it was described, it has to be the colour of old lady's leggings. That's the perfect tea. Can you see the tea? I'd never be too exact with my sugar. I just mostly just pour it in. That's probably about enough. I like it fairly sweet on occasion, sometimes dry. I'll mix it up a bit. Today it's going to be fairly sweet. All 23 tea bags have been removed, milk and sugar has been added. It's time for the first pint of tea. Hopefully this won't go disastrously well. Now some portion of the tea was lost on the surface there. When I say lost, I mean I know exactly where it is. It's on the surface. It was lost from the saucer. I'll clear that up in the post-experiment phase of the experiment. It's sweet. Maybe a bit too sweet. But I'm going to drink it all. Okay, that was the first cup now. Now, the second cup. It's difficult to tell beneath the sweetness of the tea how strong it is. But I can already feel myself being a bit more alert. That's certainly the sugar, not the tea, because caffeine can take up to 20 minutes to kick in. So the perfect time for a nap would be right now. Like a short 20-minute nap. Have your tea or coffee beforehand. When the caffeine kicks in, just about the time you want to get up. I find it pretty difficult to nap after I've just drinking a lot of tea. I'm starting to get quite warm from the sheer volume of liquid that I've just imbibed. So I'm going to take them off my jumper. On the first cup, sweet. I was recently reading an article that argued, somewhat convincing I thought, that if caffeine was controlled and warned against in the same way that alcohol is, you'd have a nation of binge drinking espresso junkies, right? The government doesn't need to warn people not to, young people not to take 24 espresso shots and go boom, 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 or drink 6 pints of tea in a sitting. Essentially because everyone knows that seems like a pretty bad idea. I'm finding out today whether it really is a bad idea. But anyway, it seems to be, right? Say physiologically, getting a bit of a tummy ache at the moment. No, not major, just minor. I don't know whether imbibing any amount of fluid in these quantities would do the same thing. I have almost finished the flip-ups. I'm halfway through the experiment. Any kind of fatigue is setting in. I'm not really keen on having the 4 pint, but for experimenting living, so for developing our boundaries of possibilities and things, I'll have my 6 pint. Minimum splurge. I've got the 4th. Now, just bear in mind, these aren't just 6 ordinary pints. No. 23 tea bags makes for a very strong cup. I don't know how strong, but it's very strong. So I expect it has more of an effect. Okay, so I'm not sure how much the caffeine has totted in just yet. Maybe I'll get a rush later. There are some unfortunate side effects from drinking too fast. In that, if you drink things too fast, you take in lots of air, and it's not nice. Okay, I'm still on my 4th cup of tea. And remember, this was an experiment in living, which means you can prove a successful experiment or an unsuccessful experiment. And so far, I call it an unsuccessful experiment because it is bloody awful. The reason being, the chief reason being, is I put a bit too much sugar in, and as I get nearer the bottom of the saucepan, it's just getting more and more concentrated sugar. What I'm mostly drinking is hot, milky sugar water. I'm almost finished. My 4th cup of tea. Yeah. Okay, it's finished. Alright. Now, the 5th. I'm 2/3 of my way through the experiment. I'm going to try and drink this one relatively slowly, and then we'll see if we can drink the last one fast. I mentioned that. Okay, a minor tragedy. While I was out of the room doing things, somebody emptied, or almost entirely emptied, my cup of tea, my coldish cup of tea. This has invalidated the experiment, so I can feel safe drinking the last, throwing away the last cup. Okay, so I'd like to present my findings. After drinking only 4 pints of tea, so only 2/3 of the original experiment, so probably imbibing 14 and a bit cups of tea bags worth, maybe. I'm going to do it like that. I'd say physiologically painful, psychologically I'm not really sure. Probably I'm feeling a bit jittery, sort of a bit on edge, perhaps more irritable than I might normally be. Probably not irritable normally. You know, I can feel the inner kernel of primal rage pulsating, ready to burst forth. You know, rewinding back to the original purpose of this. This is an experiment in living, not a scientific experiment, a philosophical experiment, I should point out. This is an experiment to see what is good for living, what is good for life, what is good for my situation, right? And I would say that even 4 pints of tea is not good for my situation. It has been successful in ascertaining this fact. I'm happy with the experiment. Thank you for watching, and